Have you ever woken up one day and forgotten who you were? I'm not talking about a hangover. I'm not talking about momentary confusion. I'm talking about opening your eyes and having absolutely no idea who you are, your name, your story, the people you loved, the places you lived, everything erased, as if someone had formatted your mind's hard drive. Yeah, this happened to one of the most iconic characters in comics. And the way it happened is brutal. Wolverine, Logan, the indestructible mutant, the guy with the adamantium claws, the man who survived wars, tortures, scientific experiments, and decades of suffering. This guy had his mind completely destroyed, and the worst part? It was intentional. Let's go back in time a bit. Imagine discovering that you were born different, that you have powers nobody understands, that your life will be marked by violence from day one. Shammy's Howlett, that was his real name, discovered his claws in the worst possible way. In a moment of trauma, of pain, of loss, and from that point on, he never had peace again. Logan lived for centuries. Literally, he fought in wars that we only read about in history books. He watched empires fall. He watched technologies being born. He watched humanity reinvent itself several times. And throughout all that time, he carried a curse disguised as a blessing: regeneration. Do you know what it's like to never be able to die? Sounds incredible, right? Sounds like everyone's dream. But think about it with me. You watch everyone you love grow old, die, leave, and you stay. You always stay, trapped in a body that doesn't age while the world around you crumbles and rebuilds itself endlessly. Logan carried these memories, these traumas, these invisible scars that regeneration couldn't heal, because the body recovers, but the soul, the mind, those keep everything, until they came for him. The Weapon X program, a secret military project that saw mutants not as people, but as tools, as weapons to be perfected. And Logan, with his absurd healing factor, was the perfect candidate for the most ambitious experiment of all. Adamantium, the most resistant metal on the planet, melted, injected directly into his bones. Every inch of his skeleton covered by an indestructible alloy. The process was so painful, so brutal, that any normal person would have died 1,000 times before it was finished. But Logan wasn't normal. He endured. His body regenerated while being destroyed, an infinite torture in a loop of pain and recovery. And when it finally ended, he had become the perfect weapon. But there was a problem. Logan still had consciousness, still had memories, was still a man with his own will, and that didn't serve their plans. So they did the only thing they could do. They erased everything. An adamantium bullet, straight to the head, the only material capable of penetrating that reinforced skull. The shot did unkill Logan. Nothing kills Logan, but it destroyed something much more important than life. It destroyed who he was. When he woke up, there was nothing left. No memory, no name, no story, just instinct, just rage, just confusion. A wild animal trapped in a man's body, not knowing why he existed or what he was supposed to do. Who am I? This question echoed in his mind for years, decades. Every time he found a clue about his past, it was like ripping off a scab. It hurt, it bled, and many times it led nowhere, because the truth is that Logan didn't just lose memories, he lost identity. He lost purpose. He lost the ability to understand why he felt what he felt, why he had nightmares about places he didn't recognize, why certain people seemed familiar even though they were complete strangers. And you know what's most cruel? Some of these memories came back in flashes, fragments, disconnected pieces that didn't make sense. It was like trying to put together a 1,000-piece puzzle in the dark, without knowing what the final image was. Wolverine's memory loss isn't just a plot device from comics or movies. It's a powerful metaphor about trauma, about how terrible experiences can literally erase who we are, about how the mind sometimes prefers to forget rather than deal with the pain. Many people go through this in real life, not with adamantium bullets, of course, but with traumas that fragment identity, that make you wake up one day and not recognize the person in the mirror, that erased entire years of your story because remembering would be unbearable. Logan wandered the world carrying this void. He worked in forgotten places, fought in underground rings, drank in filthy bars trying to drown questions that had no answers. He became a ghost, a man without a past searching for a future he couldn't imagine. And the most fascinating thing is that even without memories, his essence remained the sense of justice, the protection of the weak, the fierce loyalty to those who earned his trust. This didn't come from memories. It came from something deeper, something that neither the adamantium nor the bullets managed to destroy. Maybe that's what truly defines who we are, not the memories we accumulate, not the stories we tell, but what remains when everything else is stripped away, the core, the essence, what's left when nothing else remains. Logan eventually found X-Men, found a purpose, found people who accepted him even without knowing his past. And slowly, he rebuilt an identity. Not the old one that was lost forever, but a new one, forged in pain, yes, but also in choice, in the conscious decision to be something beyond what they made him. Because at the end of the day, maybe the question, who am I, doesn't need an answer from the past. Maybe the answer lies in what you choose to do now, in what you decide to be each day, in the people you protect, in the causes you fight for. Wolverine didn't recover all his memories. Some came back distorted. Others never came back, but he became more than James Howlett ever was, more than Weapon X tried to create. He became a legend, and he did it without really knowing where he came from. So, tell me something. If you woke up tomorrow with no memory of who you are, what you lived, who you loved, what would remain? What would be left of you when all these stories were erased?